A film review on Hollywood Brown, just kind of looking on what he's going to bring to the table for the Kansas City Chiefs and their receiving core in 2024 with, of course, the biggest signing offensively, really, for the Chiefs. And now that rookie camps are kind of getting underway and we're actually starting to see some of these pieces on the field, just excited to jump into this film review. I've been kind of messing with it, trying to put something together. Last few weeks have been nutty, but here we are nonetheless, as promised, in the film room to break down some Hollywood Brown film. Obviously can't say the newest addition to the wide receiver core, as Xavier Worthy will also be added, which I'm very excited to see how Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice will all pair together. Obviously, we're not 100% sure on what's going to happen with Rashee Rice in 2024, whether he's going to be suspended, whether he's not, when that's going to be delved out, as he's obviously going to take some type of suspension, and talked about that a little bit on the last podcast. Probably get into a little bit more on the next podcast. Just still kind of conflicting reports, not sure exactly what we're going to see out of that, but anyways, before we get into the video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so you can know every time that I post a video. And getting into these film reviews, did them all throughout the year, this past year, and trying to get a little bit in the off season, working on a Wanya Morris one as well. Which, watching him in the film room, man, on tape, Wanya Morris is, I've kind of looked at his best performances so far, but he's looked pretty good from what I've watched. But anyways, we'll get into that when we get there. But I could see why Wanya Morris is maybe seen as possibly the Chiefs, left tackle for 2024. We'll see. But just to get straight into it, Hollywood Brown down here on the bottom of your screen, and really just going to watch as he just kind of beats man coverage, going straight over the top. Nothing really happening, but just a nice release to the outside. Go back real quick as he kind of jabs in, goes to the outside, clears him up for the outside. Takeoff, and that speed, man, speed kills. And the Chiefs have kind of got that speed once again. You see just a quick kind of fake to the right, jumps out to the left, kind of loses his footing there for a minute, but is able to get separation, ends up cutting it back, and they're just going to run a little dump route that I think ends up being an incompletion right here anyways. But Hollywood Brown, number 2 in the league in separation versus man coverage. So something to watch out for, especially with the speed of Hollywood Brown. We'll watch it one more time. I'm going to kind of play this in slow motion just so you can see right here at the bottom of your screen, Hollywood Brown. Nice move, and to get into that second level, and, with Patrick Mahomes, the world is your oyster if you can beat man coverage over the top. Obviously, we saw Tyreek Hill, and I think that Hollywood Brown is going to bring a level of just good separation right there. I mean, you got one safety to beat up top, and if he's taking that side of the field, because he's got his eyes over here to the left side watching as Hollywood Brown breaks free, obviously he's going to turn back around, and the play not designed to be a big play necessarily, but that right there, I think, is very key. And again, being second in the league in target separation versus man coverage, I mean, the Chiefs obviously, I think, keyed in on that because that's something they're going to want to see. Since Tyreek Hill, they've had trouble really being able to, have somebody in there that can track the ball down and make big-time plays. So they're trying to work this offense into that. Obviously, Rashee Rice has done a great job last year at, being able to find space and being able to catch the ball and get the yak yardage, and move down the field. Now you've also got Xavier Worthy that can stretch the field as well. Kadarius Toney is still in there. Toney, his fifth-year option was declined, so he's got a lot to work for in 2024. So, I mean, it could be a huge year for the Chiefs offense, I think. This one right here, another one that you want to see more of. And for Josh Dobbs to kind of go right here, the trust that he has in Hollywood Brown right here, to really jump out for that. And right here, Hollywood kind of in the slot, basically, he's just going to work his way across the field, and something the Chiefs kind of like to do anyways, and just a very deep crossing route right here, basically, where he's going to get all the way pretty much to the end zone, and Josh Dobbs lets it fly. Not able to connect, But again, just things that the Chiefs are going to be able to work with and work on. This one right here, same kind of deep crossing route right here that Hollywood's going to run. Same position, and he's just going to work his way across the field and get a big gain right here. Right past the second level of the linebackers, you got your middle linebacker going to try to keep up with him, but the distance between him and that safety right there, there's just no chance. Because I think that's Fred Warner tailing him at that point, and a huge play for Hollywood Brown right there for the Arizona Cardinals last season. But the way he just works his way across the field with the speed is just able to beat everybody. And yeah, that's Fred Warner trying to turn around and keep up with Hollywood Brown. It's not happening. So another key component that I really like, you can kind of put Hollywood anywhere. We'll see kind of what I haven't, watched enough film or, really dissected Xavier Worthy's game to know exactly where you're going to put him. But Rashee Rice, you line him up on the outside. Hollywood, you can put on the slot. You can put him on the outside. You can kind of do whatever you want with Hollywood Brown. And right here, this one right here just jumped out to me because this is Chiefs football 101, right? You see this all the time, especially with Travis Kelce, where you just find that soft spot in the zone. And that's what Hollywood's going to do right here, down on the bottom of your screen. And I think that's, he backed off, but I think that's Travarius Ward right there. Perfect. Just turns around, finds the soft spot in the zone, Josh Dobbs, easy completion. And, that's all day with the Chiefs. The Chiefs love to do stuff like that. You saw Rashee Rice all year long working routes like that where you just turn around, find the soft spot in the zone, and keep it moving afterwards. Right here, looks left, just turns around, boom, quick catch. And the fact that he held on to that, that was not an easy catch. Very tight space right there. Watch it one more time. But right there, not a ton of separation right here. And that's Fred Warner right there in the middle. That is a very solid middle linebacker and can pick the ball off. But great job, great catch. And again, I think just what you want to see for the Chiefs to get in 2024. And right here, same thing. Just finds a soft spot in the zone, turns around, and Hollywood's able to make an easy catch. Make it easy for the quarterback right here. You see Hollywood at the top of your screen. And he's coming from the top of this bunch formation on the top of your screen. Just a quick little hesitate, goes to the outside, works his way back in. Just look how he takes the corner, though. The corner is just all sorts of messed up on this play because he basically goes to the flat thinking it's a flat route. Marquise Brown kind of just turns around, turns the corner around, kind of not sure where he's going at this point, and just gives enough room and enough space that he's right there between two defenders. Just finds that soft spot, works his way around the corner, and is able to make a nice play. And even to get a little bit of yardage afterwards, you're playing a really good defense with the San Francisco 49ers. So against a different team, possibly a big play right there that doesn't have as great of an defense, as the 49ers. And right here, this one I kind of pulled out just because of kind of the same thing. You're just kind of trying to find that soft spot, but not everything's perfect, and this was not a good throw at the same time. This is thrown behind Hollywood Brown, but again, look at all that space he has right here in between the field. He's just finding the right area in the field, trying to make it work, and right here is not able to. Again, the throw just not quite where you'd want it to be, but just kind of curls out here back to the middle, and there's really nobody around. You got one guy right here. Good recognition to kind of see where that ball is going. But at that point, already thrown. And easy throw. I say it's an easy throw like I play in the NFL. So, I shouldn't just say it's such an easy throw. But as you're throwing under pressure in the NFL against the San Francisco 49ers defensive line. But look at all the space Dobbs has to throw. That could damn near be a touchdown. Probably not, but maybe if you can zoom it up the middle right there, in between the two safeties. I just have to imagine that Patrick Mahomes has watched some of this film and just thought, Andy Reid as well, Matt Nagy, and thought what they can do with Hollywood Brown in this offense and to be able to make him work in the offense. Because I think that he's going to be great for the Chiefs. Right here, this was the one that I saw that just was like, okay, this was my number one play that I saw from Hollywood Brown that made me think this is exactly what the Chiefs offense needs. Hollywood right here breaks free, just going to run a crossing route and makes an insane catch in double coverage right around the 50-yard line. And I mean, that is something that the Chiefs desperately need. Obviously, the Chiefs had all their mishaps with all the drops over the year, but you look at Hollywood working his way across the field. You got Fred Warner right here in front of him, which he's not going to cause too much disruption in this play. You're getting trailed by your corner, but then you've also got a safety that jumps up in here at the last second, and not to be deterred. Hollywood Brown, big catch. So right here, again, this was another one that I just kind of felt like this is just exactly how the Chiefs like to run the offense. Just a little drag route, basically. Go ahead and get it to your playmakers in space and let them work. And that's exactly what the Cardinals did right here, and exactly what the Chiefs are going to want to do with Hollywood Brown. And, Hollywood and Worthy are two guys that could just kind of take over a role left by like McCole Hardman or, Kadarius Toney at times and depending on how Toney works out in 2024, if he's able to step up and play a bigger role and, have a bigger impact on the offense than he did in 2023. But right here, just decent separation. You got man coverage. You got a corner trailing Hollywood Brown. He's able to get the ball and be able to try to work it into space. And he's also another guy with a sub 4.3 40 time. So, I mean, just easy money right there. And right here, good out route. Running up the field. This is a little bit of a deeper out route right here, but just perfect. Hollywood Brown just digs to the left. Now, I would like to see maybe that ball come out a little bit earlier, and maybe you get Hollywood paired with Patrick Mahomes. That's going to be a little bit better. Hollywood Brown also had a 56% caught 56%. No, I'm definitely going to get the stat wrong. I'm just going to go past that stat. It's in my notes that I know I'm about to get wrong because I'm all out of context on that. Great out route, though, right here. Again, would like to see the ball come out a little bit earlier, maybe by Dobbs, but again, now pairing Hollywood Brown with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you have the best quarterback in the league throwing to you at this point now, and even then, he's able to find a separation, bring the ball in, and here's another one. Same exact concept, just this one a quicker out route, obviously. You're backed up against your own end zone. Quick out route to Hollywood Brown. Easy money. Makes the catch. And I do believe that was for a first down, so you're just trying to get to the markers quickly right here. Quick out route, boom, beats his man, and that's that. So that's it for the Hollywood Brown film breakdown, but I wanted to get into the film room and just watch some of this film and be able to kind of like, start getting geared up towards next season, towards 2024. You're looking at some Wanya Morris film. I'll focus right here on number 64. Looks like I chopped off his head on that. But again, as promised, we are back in the film room, as I said. As we're looking at the Chiefs, not sure who's going to start at the left tackle position and going into 2024. And with Donovan Smith not returning to the Chiefs, as Wanya Morris got some time to show us what he's got a little bit on the field. Last season, with Donovan Smith out, this is week 12 against the Raiders. Week 12, week 13 were kind of the main ones that we're looking at. With Wanya Morris getting some time as that Chargers game as well at the end of the year. So right here, just looking straight out at this. This is one thing that's going to kind of be a theme, and I kind of want to point out right out of the gate, just to look at the jump. So if you look at where Jawan Taylor is already, he's already has made a step back. Wanya's still like right here on the line, and right here is his man that he is coming in to rush Mahomes, right? So what we're looking at here is, and Daniel Harms from RGR Football did a really good film review on Jawan Taylor recently that I watched, and this is really the biggest kind of gripe on Wanya Morris, I would say right now, is just kind of looking at, he's not getting off the line very quick, and right here is going to lead to some pressure from Mahomes' blindside a little bit. He steps up and is able to make a play, and protecting Mahomes has become, well known that it's not the easiest to do, right? And Mahomes makes this work and is able to kind of help out Wanya Morris on this play, just because he loses his man pretty quick. And I mean, if Mahomes doesn't step up, Wanya does enough, but he's just slow to react on the line. And that's kind of the issue. Ends up being a big play to Rashee Rice there. But again, like I said, Mahomes, that's one of the reasons Orlando Brown said he left. It's hard to block from Mahomes. And, the way Mahomes moves, even though on that one, that was pretty straight up on that Raiders play. Now we're moving to the last week of the season. This was Blaine Gabbert starting. A quick motion from Noah Gray. Inside, running back out. And this one right here is another one. It's just kind of a hesitation, right? As you're looking at Wanya, he's looking straight. This Khalil Mack is going to end up actually being his guy, but right now, where his head placement is, he's looking right at the guy that, Tooney is going to end up taking right here. Again, working on getting the right buttons right. So, ends up being a quick pass, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, if this was a play that took a little bit longer to develop, it actually wasn't a bad block here from Wanya. He ends up getting and planting right there. That's, what you want to see from your left tackle right over here. I mean, perfect. Getting to Khalil Mack. I mean, the ball's already getting ready to come out, so it doesn't really matter in this case. But Wanya does do a good job of kind of recovering and getting the block on Khalil Mack, as we're going to see is a little bit different play right here. And I think this is Wanya's first complete start versus Khalil Mack. So, I mean, kind of hard to really fault him here, as he just gets blown up on this play. And again, kind of slow to react is what we've seen already here in these first couple of plays. And I kind of think that's one thing that Wanya Morris obviously is going to have to work on moving into 2024, especially if he's going to become the starter. This one not as bad, but just gets blown up on the play. And I mean, it is Khalil Mack, so I mean, you can't really fault him too much. We'll go right back to that real quick. We'll just show it one more time. I don't want to show it too many times, but tries to plant and does a good job here to just try to plant and keep Khalil Mack, but Mack just pushes and kind of rips away from Wanya, knocks him down. You even see, which I like that. I like the emotion right here. If you watch Wanya Morris, he's on the ground over here, but just kind of claps like, damn, all right, I'll get him next time. I guess we didn't see it on that one, but go back a little bit. But, he knows what happened right there. And, I mean, you got beat by an all-pro. So, I mean, really no shame in it, right, when it comes to Khalil Mack. But here's one that, again, with Patrick Mahomes, he kind of gets away with. If you have more of a stationary quarterback back there, probably not going to be able to get away with some things like this. But with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, kind of makes a move. And this one where the D linemen are just going to switch. And Wanya does just enough that he opens up a lane for Patrick Mahomes to run, and Mahomes picks up a few yards. So that one I didn't think was too terrible either. And again, it's the growing pains. And this was a game against the Packers where he came in off the bench. And one of the best jumps, I'll say, too. This is one thing that I started the video with right here, just getting that quick jump right here, Wanya. And just see how he comes off the line in comparison. I mean, the ball is just snapped, gets back, does a great job. Although, again, a little bit of confusion right here on whose assignment's going to be. Ends up being 95, I believe that is right there. Gets pushed. Mahomes sees it. He's kind of looking down here at Noah Gray, but he sees this pressure going to come in from the left side or the right side of Wanya. Just makes a move. Wanya has the leverage to get Mahomes to the outside. Mahomes just takes it and runs with it. Let's say pretty indifferent on that play, and one of the more positive plays I think for Wanya, going in and just looking at his film, what he's done. Here's a quick play action from Blaine Gabbert. This is back to that Week 18 game at LA. And Khalil Mack, again, is the guy lined up on Wanya's side right here. So a really tough matchup to go with, although he's going to move to his right. Obviously, play action. And Noah Gray, does a great job on Khalil Mack right there. Opens it up. Wanya kind of in no man's land at that point. But he comes across to his right, kind of tries to help out. But he does end up letting, if you watch 98 right here. Right there. The way that he's going to kind of miss the block on 98 and let 98 back in. Wanya gets over, kind of just over pursues, right? 98's able to get back. Doesn't really affect the play too much. You've already got pressure coming from the other side, but that was a lapse for Wanya right there, as he should have been in position, been able to make that block. And again, rookie mistakes, right? So he's really, we're going to watch the growth this upcoming year of Wanya Morris. Here he is again. This one right here, another quick play action. And Wanya does a pretty good job right here. He does get kind of bullied into the quarterback as he throws. And I mean, it's an inaccurate throw from Gabbert, which I'm not 100% if really the Wanya getting pushed back is really what does it, because he's already kind of in his throwing motion here. So once he gets hit and knocked down by Wanya Morris, but by that time already, Gabbert's already letting the ball go. He sees the pressure is coming, but Wanya, I think, does a good enough job on that play. He holds his block, kind of resets. So you would like to see the footwork improve too. That's one thing of where if he can plant on both feet, and again, that was one thing where I saw Daniel Harms kind of point out with Jawan Taylor, where Taylor was really good at kind of resetting the block on, getting both of his feet down and, keeping that lineman right in front of him. And that's one thing Wanya, I think, really needs to work on. And right here, this one on the run block, I mean, just not a great play here as they get stuffed right here at the line. You're going to see Wanya Morris kind of just flail at this block, isn't able to get there in time. And again, getting that timing down. I mean, again, a rookie left tackle asked to, this game he actually started, right? But, asked to come in a lot of these games and isn't able. This is a whole set too, a whole 3 downs at the goal line. And Wanya here, another one, allows the sack. And that timing, though, that I keep going back to, is just you look at the rookie timing and getting your play style down with the NFL level and the NFL speed versus what he was used to at the University of Oklahoma the year prior. And even right here, this is a pretty good jump that he got. And again, it's Khalil Mack. You're facing an all-pro. He's able to wipe the hands away and get into Gabbert. Oh, it wasn't a sack. He did throw it, and I think that ended up being a penalty, actually. Because it looks like they just blow the play dead. But nonetheless, of the outcome of the play, we get to see Khalil Mack versus Wanya Morris right there. And he does hold his own, I think, on that play. Obviously, he gets beat, but he holds his own. He doesn't get blown up like he got blown up earlier in the game, right, on that where Khalil Mack just pushed him straight to the ground. This was one that I wanted to point out because when you see it, you see it. You got 64 over here on the left side. When you get motion across, just a quick run to the right side, and I mean, that's a pretty blatant hold. Holding call on 64 right there, and you see the emotion from the Charger right there saying, come on, ref, we got to call that. That was right when he threw the flag pretty much, but I mean, all over him right here. And again, it kind of goes back to just getting that speed down at the NFL level, because realistically, I mean, you just keep pushing him that way. I mean, this play is going all the way over. So when it comes to this side of the play, I mean, just keep pushing him up the field rather than holding him, and didn't have the leverage necessarily. I think obviously there is why you hold, but I think if, that's one I'm sure Wanya has watched on film too, and thought, all right, we got to get better at, keep the feet moving, keep the defensive lineman pushing up the field. And I mean, at least if you're going to get yardage here, you're able to, get some yards instead of losing 10 on a holding call right there, because 98 is probably not going to get in the backfield and make a play like that. And so now here's another run play. And I felt like Wanya was a little bit better in the run game to a point. He does, again, kind of over pursue. I feel like that was another kind of issue where, even at this point, he's kind of just changing the leverage, right? Because he's pushing 98, pushing. He's opening up that gap for the cutback. Although, on the second level, you've got somebody here waiting for this run. But still, the way he pushes too far at 98, kind of feels that and just moves himself over to the right side. And now P. Ryan's kind of like, oh, okay, there's nothing there at all. So again, just kind of that over pursuing. And, with being in the trenches, I think is interesting just from my time and, my life with martial arts training and clinch work and things like that. It's just such the little things that you feel somebody move a certain way, and you make that distinction in your head. Oh, okay, I can move this way, and I've got this opening. If I make a quick movement, I can turn this around into something else. And I feel like that's what 98 did right there, was he just felt Wanya leaning way too far to the right, trying to get him to the right. And if he just pushes back to the other side, he finds that opening and is able to make a play happen. Now, here's the Christmas Day Raiders game. And I can't remember if this was one that he came in on an injury too, where Donovan Smith was down for a little bit. I know both week 12 and 13. I'm pretty sure he came in for Donovan Smith to kind of help out. But right here again, he's getting the block. It's just once it makes me think of Madden sometimes. Like when you're playing the game and it's so frustrating, you're like, the guy's getting his block down, he's got it. As soon as you go to hit the hole, boom, he loses the block. And you're getting tackled for a 1 yard gain or a 2 yard gain or a quick loss like this was. And again, Wanya does a pretty good job getting off the line. I mean, he's pretty quick. He's a little bit slower than Tooney right there, but he does and is able. Now, to go back to that previous run where Wanya got the holding call, look at the difference between him and Jawan Taylor, which there was somebody, and here's Taylor on the right side, and there was somebody directly in front of Wanya, so I mean, I'll give him cut him a little bit of slack there. But immediately Taylor's going up to the second level. He sees this and sees, okay, we're good on that side. What I need to do is if there's a cutback lane or something like that, nobody's really even worried about this guy again, because you're pushing this ball out to the left side anyways. So really, what's the point? Pacheco's going to be able to outrun right here, which he is able to do. And then even, I think that's Trey Smith right there that turns around and comes back and is able to make a little bit of a block on him anyways. Getting a little away from Wanya's game, but Wanya just kind of comes out. He needs to get a little bit further outside, especially the way that they're running this football. They're looking to push this thing all the way outside, or possibly Pacheco's going to have a lane right here. And even then, Wanya is going to need to push this block all the way out, right? And he just lets his man kind of take the outside from him. And that's really what stops everything. And kind of what we talked about planting, what I was talking about a minute ago, about just planting, kind of resetting the block. Wanya kind of tries to do that at this point right there. He just hammers that left foot down into the ground. But he just doesn't have the correct angle on him to be able to do that. And he's got to get further out. If he takes a wider step out and plants that foot, I think that it's better off there. But, Wanya's guy is the one that makes initial contact, and they bring Pacheco down for a loss right there. So the run blocking, to me, needs a little bit of work. And right here, this is one of the best jumps that Wanya had out of all of this film review. And one thing that I really kind of started looking at the more that I watched it, almost immediately when the ball is snapped, Wanya is back. And that's one thing, Jawan Taylor got called out for a lot last year, of course. Just false start. And, what is a false start? Lane Johnson does it a lot. And, these tackles, at the end of the day, with the way these edge rushers are, it's insane. It's insane the way, the guys that they have to block. This is one of the toughest jobs in the NFL, being a tackle, I would definitely argue. But to even see, this is exactly what you want to see. Look how far Wanya is back already. Jawan Taylor over here is, probably a half a step in front of where Wanya is at, which is, perfect what you want to see. You're coming down to make this block for Patrick. And one of the more successful pass plays that we've seen in this film review. And now you've got the edge rusher kind of, okay, where am I going with this? He kind of cuts back inside and is like, okay, I'm going to take this inside and try to make a move, which Max Crosby, that's one of those guys that's just unblockable. Sometimes he comes around and is able to kind of get in Mahomes' face. Big play, though, to Rashee Rice, and exactly what you want to see. So we're moving into the good. I wanted to start with the bad and move into the good to show, okay, there's something here. It's not, and I can't remember what round they got Wanya in. Of course, you draft another tackle this year. But again, right here, perfect on Khalil Mack, is able to sustain this block on Khalil Mack, and exactly what you want to see. And as we said, the run game I felt like was a little bit of a, both sides to it, but just in the run game, Wanya has got to be able to hold his own too, especially with the way the Chiefs are able to run in this interior line they have. If you have another tackle that can really help out in the run game, that's huge for the Chiefs. And he's able to hold on to this block perfectly to let P. Ryan move through. Gets a couple yards, nothing special, but is able to sustain a block. And, that was in big part a big help from not Jawan Taylor, but Wanya Morris right there to even get that gain. So right here down on the goal line, I actually think the sequence that we watched earlier right around the goal line, this is the first play to it. And then we saw the blow up on the run and the pass play. But Wanya, again, right here just doing his job and just driving that pack forward. And that's exactly what you want to see. Exactly what you want to see. So, again, there's bad, but there's also a lot of good with Wanya Morris right here. And, this block right here shows it all. And especially right here at the goal line where everybody's pushing and trying to, figure out, how to get the ball in the end zone right there. That's perfect. This was another play. This is one that probably the best play from Wanya Morris, I thought. Just the awareness he shows on the screenplay is probably the best out of anything. Quick little kind of play action to Pacheco, and we'll kind of watch Wanya's first step as he gets out. He gets off pretty quick off the line. Off to the left, makes a quick block on 90 right there. And then it disengages. Disengages and gets ready for the screen. He knows what's coming, but he turns back around and gets this block on 90 that really becomes one of the, stage setters for the rest of this play. Because if you don't get 90 right there, he's probably going to be right in that lane to be able to take down Pacheco for a loss. And, he's completely taken out of the play now. Wanya completely took him out of the play, which is perfect. It's exactly what you want to see. and finish off this play with you got Creed all the way up front, and Pacheco is able to, do what he does and ends up scoring a touchdown. So that was Wanya's best performance. Week 12 against the Raiders. Second best performance was against the Packers, which, was him leaping right off the bench and coming into games to help out. And he scored pretty bad PFF-wise when it came to that Chargers game. It was like in the high 40s, I think, 46, 47, somewhere around in there, that he scored PFF grade-wise. And then it was kind of in the 60s. I don't remember the numbers right off the top of my head. But right around the 64 range for those games that he kind of just jumped in, which is good. And I think Wanya does have a lot of upside. I do honestly think that Wanya could credibly be the starting left tackle for the Chiefs this year. And the Chiefs obviously feel like they have a starting left tackle somewhere in their ranks. And, whether it's the kid from BYU that they just drafted, or it is, I doubt Jawan Taylor moves over to left tackle, but that's also a possibility. And then you got Wanya Morris that you got out of Oklahoma in the draft last year. So we'll see just how things shape out moving into camp. OTAs have obviously started, but moving into camp, and once we really start getting into the thick of things and start getting close to the season, where these guys are kind of going to shape out. So that is going to do it for the Wanya Morris film review. Let's just jump straight into it. I want to kind of show the hustle that Leo Chenal has. And I mean, this Spags defense just in general. And there's Leo right there. And so just the hustle. The Spags defense, is kind of built on that. Built on hustle and tackling, and right here, a great play. Second effort for Leo Chenal to get the tackle. This was in that Broncos game at Denver. Not a great game. One of Leo Chenal's best games, though, grade-wise, and Leo Chenal, 54, and he's just going to get off this block and keep moving to the left side. Brian Cook kind of makes a swipe at a tackle, and Leo just continues to work his way to the sideline to end up making that tackle, and just showed a lot of hustle on that play. So now, sticking kind of with that theme, we are going to continue to focus on the hustle of Leo Chenal here on these first couple of plays and what Leo's able to do, and just the recognition on the field. I think he really has a good sense of just what's going on in the play, keeps his head on a swivel, and he's able to move across after going into a zone to come back all the way across the field to help make the tackle right here. And you see Leo Chenal just starting off right here on this right side. Just going to quickly back up into coverage here. Quick swing route to the back, and Leo Chenal's there for the help as he's able to move inside on McDuffie there. Right here, another hustle play. Again, just kind of pointing out these hustle plays that Leo Chenal's had that have just been, that, really jumped out to me when I was watching it. And Leo just right here, right on the field goal, sticks and kind of over pursues, cut back lane there for the back. And Leo is able to fight his way back off the block to come and help make the tackle. It was a good run play for the Broncos right there. And then now to the Super Bowl. And this is the play that he just got his hand in there and kind of ripped the ball away and got a fumble for the Chiefs. Right here, Leo starting out on this left side. Everybody kind of shifts right as the play is beginning. Leo's able to get in there and, again, just gets his hand in there and knocks the ball away. Another one, Leo right here on the edge. This is still from the Super Bowl, obviously. And Leo Chenal is able to just kind of stay at home and help with the tackle there, essentially. Kind of getting an assist, if you will. He just stays at home the whole time. They run I think this is just a sweep to Debo. Quick sweep. Leo just stays at home with his blocker right here. And that's able to, you've got one here, one more defender up top. Justin Reed kind of playing the line of scrimmage. Leo Chenal moving out to the left side. Probably going to get a hand on him if he tries to go by. Is able to help Reed on the cutback. And that all closed up very quickly. I think that's Debo running the ball. No. Yeah, that was Debo. So Debo Samuel just not able to really get anything with the way everybody plays this, and you got a bunch of great tacklers right there. Oh, that was Bolton that ends up making the tackle. So, I mean, one of the best tacklers in the NFL, I think, and Nick Bolton, once he gets his hands on you, it's hard to get away. You've got good tackling from Mike Edwards. Reed's a little bit further up on this play. But Leo Chenal just does a great job right there taking the block and eating it and allows Nick Bolton to get the stop. So just staying at home, the hustle, I mean, all those things you hear preached on defense. Staying at home, hustle, play through the whistle. That is Leo Chenal. And this play right here just shoots the gap. I mean, just a fantastic play by Leo Chenal right here that you're going to see kind of towards the inside right there. A little bit different than kind of what we traditionally see where Leo lines up. More to the outside, but perfectly just right here in the middle. And I want to say Nick Bolton, this was one of the games that he missed. And with the Chiefs, with no Willie Gay, and I'm going to get into this later towards the end, but with no Willie Gay, Leo Chenal is going to have a big opportunity to step up and really show, his strengths and what he can do. Okay, so next up, got Leo right here on the edge. That's a terrible circle right there. Get that off the screen, but Leo Chenal lined up right here. And this one right here, just a great job fighting through blocks and able to help out on the tackle. And the Chiefs, at times had some really good run defense last year. Obviously, they had some times where they had really terrible run defense as well. This one right here, right on the Broncos logo, is Leo Chenal, shifting over a little bit, able to kind of fight through this block on 74, able to carry him toward the ball carrier, and to help on the tackle right there. Great play by Leo Chenal, and kind of part of the hustle of Leo Chenal. He just never gives up on the play. And again, like I said, plays through the whistle. I mean, exactly what you want to see. And here's Leo right here. So, but again, like I said, exactly what you want to see. And I mean, he is like the perfect example of all of those things that you want to hear about a defensive player, that you hear, defensive coaches going on about. And I think a lot of these guys on this defense, with Spags, it is just like exactly the guy that Spags wants. Because, again, right here, just the way he fights through this entire play. Leo Chenal kind of backing up in coverage here. It ends up being a screen, fights through this block, and gets back, and the running back here is all the way out left. Leo's following him. He cuts back like right in front of Leo, and Leo never stops, never gives up, and continues to push towards the ball carrier and helps with the tackle. Now, right here on the goal line, this was one of my favorite plays, honestly. This play right here, and kind of going into Willie Gay, as I was saying, without Willie Gay in this defense, at the linebacker position, this is so big because Leo wasn't asked to do stuff like this a ton or spy a ton. The spying duties was usually on Willie Gay, and Leo hasn't been thrown into coverage a ton in his first couple of years, right? So being able to see the progress and what he is able to do right here, Leo just right here kind of feinting like he's going to come on a blitz, possibly, just fades off into coverage, absolutely destroys this part of the RPO, and the recognition was so fast. Russell Wilson has to roll out right, ends up throwing an incompletion, I think just throwing it away basically right there. But the recognition on this entire play, and you can't really see Chenal here, but we're going to go back to that first view actually, just because how quickly I feel like he recognizes, okay, they're not going, or at least that he reacts to it. Russell Wilson gets the ball, and I mean immediately, look at Leo Chenal's head. Russell Wilson just got the ball. Just got this football. and Leo Chenal is looking directly down at what's going to happen on this play. And right as we go, as soon as that ball, or as soon as really Russell Wilson starts to take that first step back, look at Leo Chenal's head. On an absolute swivel, and immediately looking at what's going on over here with these two receivers. And he takes the play, he takes both routes basically away. You've got two cornerbacks over there, and now with the help of Leo Chenal, I mean, everything is going on over here. Looks like a run. Obviously, got your two receivers, RPO, and they take away the first option, and Leo Chenal almost single-handedly takes away the second option with just the way he played it and how well he played it, and then his ability to go after Russell Wilson as he starts to move out of the pocket right there as well, to shift the way he did right there and kind of force him to throw it away. Because right there, I mean, he just turns on a dime and then cuts it back the other way to come help. Russell Wilson throws the ball away. Absolutely great. And right here, Leo Chenal comes on a blitz. This one was pretty good. He got some pressure. And let's see, on the left side, right here is Leo Chenal. And brings just a blitz, brings some pressure. Russell Wilson has to get rid of the ball. The timing, too. Pushing the running back right into the defender. I think it ended up being a DPI on L'Jarius Sneed right there. But great pressure by Leo Chenal. Show this one more time. Just how quickly, and this first step. I mean, he's already running as the ball is snapped, basically. Back kind of in slow motion. So, I mean, he starts to move before the ball moves right here. He's got one step, striding into his second step as the ball is released, making Russell Wilson uncomfortable in the pocket. Probably could have been a big play, and with the penalty flag, was a big play anyways. Nothing Leo could do about that one. This is the pressure he got on Purdy in the Super Bowl. Another one where kind of the same thing. You know, he's just able to get quick pressure and force a mistake. Leo Chenal 54 right here. And this one was quick. You know, it just shows how quick he's able to and that timing. You know, I can't remember what week the Broncos game was, but just to show he had that timing all season long. Because, again, just to point out, ball is here, not snapped yet. And Leo Chenal, I think, is going to be just about into his second stride again. Takes a quick little step and then immediately and comes in clean, unblocked. You see the guard realize it and turn around 65. Like, well, that assignment was blown. Incompletion there. And caused by the Leo Chenal pressure. And then right here, we're going to see him actually get home and get the sack on Russell Wilson right there. And again, Leo Chenal, you know, just showing all of these different tools he has, I think is going to be huge for him this year. Because at this point, you've got Chenal, Drew Tranquill here. He was Bolton was out for this game. But to have those three as your, you know, main linebackers, I think is going to be great for the Chiefs. You know, they play exactly how Spags, you know, likes his defense to play. And we'll see right here. We'll see Leo Chenal get home. But a big opportunity to have a lot more playing time and a lot more different roles that I think he showed that he can do. He showed that he can blitz here. You know, we saw it on the previous two plays. He's also shown us that he can cover when asked to, and that has improved tremendously because, don't have me lying, but he was from Wisconsin, and Wisconsin did not play in coverage much, and so they knew that was going to be a challenge, and they've taken the time to now, you know, Leo Chenal coming into his third year in 2024. They've taken the time to develop that and to develop that side from Leo Chenal, I think, and it shows in this film and what he's been able to do, and the amount of ground. No one was in his zone on that play we saw from the Broncos game where he jetted across the field to end up making the tackle. So this is the biggest part right here. This play, Leo Chenal is going to spy Josh Allen, and Leo's right here in the middle of the field, so he's kind of taking up this first zone of the field, but he's also 100% dedicated to Josh Allen right here. And this is huge for me just because, again, Willie Gay, this was normally his role. And we didn't see this a ton from Leo Chenal. And now this play, I think Leo Chenal does a great job. He stays with Josh Allen the whole way. And Josh Allen makes probably the best play of his entire career, I think. Great little stutter step right there to kind of get Leo off guard. But Leo's still right there with him. I think if he really wanted to turn it up and run, he'd probably obviously get some good yardage there, but I think Leo Chenal can probably make that tackle. So he keeps him in front of him the entire time, and Josh Allen just delivers again. Maybe the greatest pass of his entire career. I mean, there was nothing you could do on that play. Airtight coverage by L'Jarius Sneed. A great spy by 54 right here. And, what else can you do, really, at that point? So I think Leo, again, has shown that he can do everything that the Chiefs need him to do. I mean, how quick that recovery was to that little sidestep that Josh Allen does. He even jumps up, tries to tip the ball. But again, probably the greatest play by Josh Allen in his entire career. But I think everything that we went through in this film review just shows what a massive potential Leo Chenal is in the defense in 2024. This time we're looking at Chamarri Conner in the film room today, and we're going to jump straight into the Bills game from the divisional round. This was really a breakout game for Chamarri Conner, who came in, played 77 snaps, which was the most that he played all season. Ended up with a 90-plus PFF grade, 80-plus in coverage, and I think he really showed off. Although he may have not done a ton in this game, I think showed more in the run game than he did in coverage, really. But I think that this really just kind of showed what we can expect from Chamarri Conner maybe this upcoming season, to see him kind of really develop, and with the loss of Mike Edwards and, of course, L'Jarius Sneed as well departing through free agent, Mike Edwards through free agency and the trade, of course, with Sneed. Just to see how Conner can kind of assist and help this defensive secondary crew. So we jump straight in with this, and we are going to get Conner up here in coverage. So right there is Chamarri Conner. Pop that off the screen, and right here, really just the intangibles, the awareness, I think. He drops back, and right here, the first thing that Conner does is he's going to read this route here. He's going to then hop over to this other route that's kind of coming towards the deep middle of the field. And then at the end, he's just going to kind of read Allen, because Josh Allen has nothing. You see Chamarri Conner moving up here at the top. He breaks on Josh Allen as soon as he sees that Josh Allen is making a run for it. Not going to make the tackle, but there to assist just in case the tackle wasn't able to be made. But shoestring tackle right there. Chamarri Conner, next man in defense. And really, all you got over here is this guy, and then you got a blanket around the goal line at that point. So, I mean, if Chamarri Conner doesn't recognize that and is too worried about being in coverage, there's a possibility that, Josh Allen breaks a bigger play if that tackle isn't able to be made. So just good awareness, and a lot of kind of what I'm showing, I feel like, is a lot of awareness plays, and, something that, he could really develop into a very good player for the Chiefs this year, I think. Right here, another one with the Chargers. This is Week 18, where Chamarri Conner is just going to make a good read. And you see Conner here, that is a huge circle. But he's just going to make a read on this motion, come back for an orbit motion behind. I keep drawing a blank on the Chargers backup. I think Easton Stick. Not going to be able to make the tackle here, though. And although great read able to make a play. He does make contact with the ball carrier, and they end up making the tackle afterwards. But there's other plays in here, I think, that shows the tackling ability of Chamarri Conner. This one, kind of an anomaly on film, seeing him not able to wrap up and bring the ball carrier down. Just a quick screen. Conner is able to fight through a block and, again, make contact. Also right there, being able to fight the block. I think that's great to see. And here's another one back from that Buffalo game where just good intangibles. He's just always moving. Chamarri Conner is the deep safety in this situation on a, goal line-ish situation with they're about 10 yards out, I guess. But Josh Allen looking, and Chamarri Conner is just following anybody that kind of gets in his zone, and then with Josh Allen rolling out, Chamarri Conner is going to take this route, I think, really just perfectly. As we'll back up just a little bit right here. Because at first he's breaking on this route coming across the field, and you get pretty much just a stop right there at the goal line. That's when Chamarri Conner switches what he's doing and follows this route as, I'm not sure what receiver, but this Buffalo receiver kind of has the angle right here at the top of your screen. Chamarri Conner just kind of helping take that away, and then just kind of waiting to see what Josh Allen's going to do. There's plenty of Chiefs defenders around Josh Allen at that point and able to make a play. So real quick, if you are enjoying this video, enjoying these film breakdowns that I've been doing through the offseason, we do them through the season as well. If you want to look back at week-by-week film breakdowns for the Chiefs last season, but really appreciate it. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. Smash that subscribe button and smash that like button as well. We are right there. Goal is 200 before training camp. I think we're going to smash that. We smashed past everything. You guys have been awesome. So, again, if you're enjoying it, just hit that subscribe button. Keep following along. So, Chamarri Conner on this play from the Super Bowl. We got him right here, and he is going to take Brandon Ayuk, who is going to come in motion and just kind of go up the field and kind of stop. But the awareness of Conner right here, again, worth pointing out, I feel, as he covers Ayuk coming across, is able to have good coverage on him, but right here he's going to turn and help make the tackle. So really, I mean, Conner really plays with his head on a swivel, because right here where you kind of just got a dead zone, he's up against Brandon Ayuk right here, but he's constantly looking at what else is happening on the field, and that's really one of the things that I saw that just kind of leapt off the film, just watching him. He ends up helping making the tackle with Justin Reed on Christian McCaffrey right there. And again, just always moving, always paying attention to everything else that's going on. If he kind of feels like he's kind of lost, a lot of plays where you get, obviously you're covering somebody, but kind of lost in the play where it's just kind of a decoy, nothing going on over there. Ayuk kind of just taking a defender out of that play. Now here's another one. This is his run game performance, and really these next couple of plays I think were really good to just show off the tackling. Again, as I said, for the most part, Chamarri Conner, I mean, everything I've seen on film with Conner, he's done an amazing job tackling, and so that just shows that here on the second level tackle that he gets on James Cook. Cook is able to find a hole, and of course Buffalo ran the ball very well against the Chiefs in that divisional game, and Chamarri Conner comes up, makes the tackle. And here's Chamarri Conner up top right here. Good cutback for James Cook. Chamarri Conner's just good sound tackle, wraps him up, takes him down. Another one right here that's comes up, more of getting him closer to the line rather than being all the way on the second level, but Conner again just does a great job of reading what's happening and ends up putting himself in a good place to make a tackle. And he does just that, wraps up and takes James Cook down. Now right here you're going to see playing on the right side. Hand off to Cook. Cook bounces it out. Chamarri Conner really the only one there. You've also got, I'm not 100% sure who that was. Watson maybe on that play. This one right here just showing off what Conner can do close to the line too. And again, his tackling, I think Chamarri Conner is just a Spags player. Spags loves to have these guys in the secondary that can tackle, come up and play the run, they can blitz. Spags runs a pretty complex defense out there. And the Chiefs, just a mastermind performance from Spags really through the whole entire playoffs, the whole season. And guys really just played their role so great, trusting in each other. Chamarri Conner able to shed a block right there, help make the tackle. Nick Bolton gets in there, as well as Derek Nottie, it looks like, as well. Go back to the divisional game one more time. And another run play that Chamarri Conner just makes a good play on. Comes up and makes this tackle. I'm just going to go from the other view and see things a little bit better. But again, Chamarri Conner playing closer to the line of scrimmage right here. And the Chiefs have just so many DBs that can do that. And I mean, even past losing Snead, I feel like really the only guy in the secondary that's somewhat of a liability sometimes tackling is Brian Cook. And losing Mike Edwards, Brian Cook coming back off injury, Chamarri Conner, I think, is going to have a bigger role in this defense. And I mean, he showed that he can take that on, I think. And again, just fighting off the block, able to make contact, and brings James Cook to the ground. So again, just one of those Spags guys. Spags loves having guys that can go out there and tackle, make a play. And Conner showed that, he has great awareness, I think, through most of the film that I watched and the plays that I put in here that I just wanted to kind of show where it's just like he's constantly moving. The play in the end zone where he takes that backside route away because, I mean, he had his man beat to the outside. If Josh Allen sees that and lets the ball fly right there, can come up with a big play. I mean, we saw in the last film breakdown with Leo Chenal that play that Josh Allen made. I mean, one of the top quarterbacks in the league and always going to have to watch sneaky routes like that. And I think Chamarri Conner does a good job in coverage of just trying to take away anything that he can playing over the top. He's able to play close to the line as well. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Chamarri Conner heading into 2024. How he is going to, fit in this scheme in 2024. And also drop and let me know who you want to see me break down next on film. Looking right now kind of FAU, possibly looking into Nick Bolton as well. As most of these film reviews just trying to essentially look at next year, what the Chiefs are going to be able to offer and what we'll maybe see out of, some of these players taking bigger roles in this team that's going to try to go for the three-peat. So, and now we have Felix Anudike-Uzomah, better known as FAU to Chiefs Kingdom, number 97. We're reviewing his film today. I just want to go over some quick stats over FAU from last year. Had 240 total snaps. 224 of those were from the D-line, one from the box. The rest came on special teams. Really highlighting his season was weeks 3, 4, and 18 were the most snap counts he got. 25 in week 3, 24 in week 4, and 61, of course, with the backups playing in week 18 in LA against the Chargers. He got 7 snaps, and he made them count in the Super Bowl, as we will have a play from the Super Bowl here. Overall grade, 52.1. This is PFF grading. 47.7 on the run defense. And the pass rush, 52.3. That was in 149 snaps pass rushing, 54 snaps on run defense. So we are going to start with that run defense right here. Checking out a play from the Broncos game in Denver, and Felix is just kind of going to get lost on this counter play. And this was earlier in the season. So we got FAU here. I think midpoint of the season. I cannot think for the life of me when we played the Broncos on the road. So you're just going to get a motion here across. That's going to set the block here. And essentially, boom, boom, he's just going to cut out on this play. And really, Felix, what he needs to do is kind of set this edge, kind of contain this out here, and we'll see what happens on the film here. Obviously, you kind of saw it just a minute ago, but this is a much better angle, kind of showing how he just gets lost in this counter play, and he immediately, I mean, even looking where his head is at on that play, I mean, he's looking at the running back here, or looking at the play developing, essentially. Sees the handoff, and then immediately turns his head into this block. And, I mean, if he would have just stayed put out there, which Trent McDuffie does his best to get out there, and Mike Edwards makes a great tackle. But just not able, you really want your edge to set that on the outside right there. So just missed it. That's the start of it. His run grade is obviously worse than his pass rushing grade, and, I mean, the Chiefs drafted him for pass rushing. So right here, he's kind of just going to get forced to the outside and kind of stayed out there. This is a pass rushing attempt right here for FAU. And really just kind of bad hand fighting. Like, he needs to be more explosive there, I think, essentially, because the left tackle is able to just get both of his hands out. He does swipe both hands away, but then there's nothing after that. He gives the lineman time to reset and isn't able to do anything. So you got a little bit of pressure coming from the other side, I think, from Karlaftis there. But, I mean, just as you're watching this, I mean, again, gets the hands off of him, gives him way too much time to get the hands back. Russell Wilson has a wide open lane to the other side. And so this is more of what we're going to want to see. And FAU had a really good night against the Jaguars, I thought, personally. There was a few times where he showed a lot, and this right here just shows the speed. FAU has got some really good speed and really good agility to get to the level to be a really good pass rusher, I think. He's obviously got plenty of developing to do, but I do think we could see him really take a jump this year. That's great. Just the way he gets around the lineman, it's a lot better rep than the first one he had, because he's actually able to hand fight enough and then make a move. Because that's what happened to him earlier, where, we'll just go back to it real quick. And, I mean, he just never makes a move. And this is from the same game a little bit later on. And the difference here, gets the initial, gets the hands away, but then makes a move to get around him. It shows great speed right there. I mean, big play for the Broncos, but, I mean, FAU did his job there. All right, so now getting into this Chargers game. Now, this one was interesting, and, this is some Spags stuff right here, where Spags is really kind of getting in his bag, because FAU right here is going to drop. Fakes the rush, pops back out, and goes into coverage. And you've seen Spags put a lot of different guys in coverage. This is FAU right here. And I think that's fascinating to see what FAU could do in coverage, because he has shown some real glimpses of speed. And, I mean, nothing doing too much here, but just the fact that they did put him in coverage, and the fact that he didn't really just hang out there. He wasn't trying to spy. He knew what his assignment was to cover, and he had nothing to cover. And, you got to guard receivers, not zones. So he turns around and just kind of looks at where the play's going. Obviously, quarterback starts to roll out as well. So he's just kind of looking for anybody that he can take out across the middle, of the passing lanes. And, does a good job, in my opinion, of just kind of staying. It's kind of what I pointed out with Chamarri Conner, where he just stayed moving at all times, and which is great to see. This one right here, FAU just fights through, makes a great tackle, and I think this is a great play to just show, there's raw ability there for FAU that I think that he could showcase at some point. And he's still got plenty of time to work. You still have Mike Dana. You've got George Karlaftis on the other side. He's got guys in front of him, and right there, just a great play. Again, fights through the block, and I think time is on FAU's side. Block is obviously by the running back, so, I mean, it's not the most difficult thing in the world to get through, but he does fight through it, makes the tackle, and now we get to the Super Bowl. This right here is the play of the year for FAU. And I think also, I remember during the game seeing 97 pop up and thinking, that's crazy that he even got to see the field. I think that also shows kind of the coaching staff, because he got 7 snaps in this game, and he made it work. He showed why he should have got those brief 7 snaps. But I do think it shows the coaching staff and Spags and this team what they think that this kid could do and the potential of what he has. I mean, he just breaks free right here and makes a huge tackle for loss in the biggest game of the year. And at this point, a rookie in this game, which, the Chiefs have had plenty of rookies in Super Bowls last year with McDuffie and those guys that came in, but just blows right through and makes the play. That's what I kind of put the emphasis on, because it wasn't like it was, the protection was all sorts of messed up. And I don't really know where they miss here. I think they're worried about Turk Wharton. The guard's going to go over and help with the center to double team, and the center kind of stays in the middle to almost help with 92 in the middle. And it's Malik Herring. So they pretty much got the number 2 defensive line in at this point. But that right tackle he absolutely blows his assignment. I don't know what he was doing, because, he's watching him the whole way. I think he just expected FAU to go out here to the outside. I think this is what he's expecting FAU to do, because he sees this run's going to come out past the guard. And he just shoots the gap. Again, a lot of potential. And ends up making the tackle on Christian McCaffrey, which isn't the easiest thing to do. So the fact he finished the play in the Super Bowl, I think, adds to it. Obviously, it was an easy open field tackle. But just the fact that he finished it on that stage against a guy that could have won the MVP last year, on the cover of Madden this year. Again, you're under the bright lights of the Super Bowl, and you're a rookie out of K-State. So I loved this pick in a sense of knowing that they had the room and the opportunity to develop FAU. That I think, by next year probably could be a very good asset on the defensive line and be a good pass rusher. And I'm not expecting him to be, like the best pass rusher in the league, but I do think there's some raw talent there, and, what FAU will be able to become in this Spags defense. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 300 subscribers. We're going to hit it before opening night. That's the plan. So again, if you enjoyed the video and watched to the end, smash that subscribe button for me as we're on the road to 300. Hit the bell and smash that like button as well if you enjoyed it. Again, this is the last one of my off-season player breakdowns. Got more film coming from the first preseason game already. Very excited for that. Excited for the season. And we got a lot to talk about. Podcast on Mondays, of course, 3 p.m. Central Time. Papa Shrono's podcast. That's available wherever you want to get your podcast. Apple podcast, as well as Spotify, right here on YouTube as well. And we will see you next time we get back in the film room.